Hello, my name is Bill Twaler, and I'm a certified executive chef and culinary arts teacher. I live in Hollywood, South Carolina, just outside of Charleston, and I teach in Mount Pleasant, which is on the opposite side of the county from where I live. It's about a 3-hour commute each day. I'm certified and licensed to teach culinary arts and hospitality management in the state of South Carolina. I teach a variety of students from 10th to 12th grade in an industry-certified kitchen. It is the equivalent to a very nice banquet kitchen. Interesting note, my students were the 3-time defending state champions in restaurant management, as well as the 2015 national champions in restaurant management. I have my associate's degree in culinary arts and my bachelor's degree in restaurant management from Johnson & Wales University. My teaching career began as a fellow at Johnson & Wales University as well. I have been an adjunct instructor at Culinary Institute of Charleston, and I'm finishing up my 5th year as a high school culinary arts teacher at Wando High School, the largest high school in South Carolina with 4,200 students. In the 2017-18 school year, my classes will become part of a hospitality academy that I've been collaborating on with administrators since last summer. I'm very excited about this opportunity. We're introducing 6 new classes, of which 4 are management classes and 2 in the culinary arts, and applying the new state standards that I've helped to write for the culinary arts portion. This academy and interest in creating state standards was conceived because I'm getting my master's degree in curriculum and instruction from the University of Kansas. One of the highlights of my coursework will be featured in the projects and artifacts that I'm about to highlight. Quick overview, I'm going to refer to Hospitality High in my presentation a few times. Hospitality High is a creation that my degree work at the University of Kansas has created in my mind and has a goal for the future. What is Hospitality High? It is a charter school for hospitality studies with 3 schools of study, and each school of study will have 1 or 2 majors in it. The School of Studies will be restaurant operations, hotel operations, and travel and tourism operations. The majors will range from culinary arts, hotel management, to event planning, and all the core classes, as well as electives, will be focused on hospitality studies. I want to teach kids that are interested in becoming lifelong learners. I live in Charleston, South Carolina area. We are home to the #1 hospitality destination in the world, but we do not have enough workers to fill all the available jobs. This is where Hospitality High comes into play. As my coursework comes to an end, I can turn my focus to the development and implementation of Hospitality High, which will be created, I believe, within the next 3 years. Why did I choose the standards portion of my portfolio? I feel that these artifacts support my work in understanding and applying content and discipline-specific knowledge as reflected in state and national standards. When the discussion of curriculum comes up in the field of culinary arts, standards are placed at the forefront. Some of the standards we refer to on a daily basis then become competencies that our students must comprehend. Understanding and the ability to demonstrate these standards and competencies then will demonstrate a proficiency in culinary arts. Standards were also chosen because of the impact they have had on my new career goals, aspirations, and dreams created by these courses. Hospitality High was born in these classes, and I want to try to represent that. These artifacts were chosen to support my work in understanding standards while working on our next generation science standard plan for fictional Jayhawkville United School District, which began the wheels turning to create Hospitality High. Meeting with key stakeholders brought me to an understanding how standards are developed, then using data-driven research was understood to better understand what needs to be fixed in culinary arts curriculum and what needs to be created related to culinary arts as compared to the national and state standards being covered. The 3 artifacts I chose from 2 of my favorite classes. First, CT802 will focus on organizing and managing curriculum and development in educational settings such as curricular decisions, as writing philosophies, setting goals and objectives. Selecting and organizing content, and designing and monitoring evaluation procedures will be emphasized. Providing leadership for the collaboration process of curriculum planning and organizational settings will receive attention. In this class, it was our assignment to create a next-generation science standard curriculum introduction plan to Jayhawkville United School District, a fictional school district in Kansas. First artifact was the project of interviewing key stakeholders. In the process, we are gaining an understanding of how activities play out during the process of curriculum planning in schools. In my project paper, we described the process of curriculum planning in our educational setting of culinary arts. I interviewed my assistant principal, who was also at one point our career technology education district director. I also interviewed the chef instructor with the most experience in the district. Then, based upon my own experiences and the 2 key stakeholders' interviews, I wrote a paper describing the curriculum planning process in our school district that can be found as an artifact in my portfolio called Curriculum Planning. It is amazing to me that when I bring up the idea of curriculum for my course, Culinary Arts, its administrators and other teachers just automatically think we have a written curriculum similar to Project Lead the Way. Not true. Then the question of curriculum is quickly swept under the rug. Hence, CT802 was instrumental in beginning my quest to create a curriculum that can be followed not but just by myself, but possibly by our whole district. At this juncture, I was also asked by our governing body, the National Restaurant Association Education Foundation, or NRAEF, to help with textbook rewrites. Quickly after that, I was then asked to help rewrite state standards and indicators for the state of South Carolina's culinary arts classes in the summer of 2016. These standards are being rolled out for the 2017-18 school year. After this interview, it was a true discovery that I was on my own when it came to the district supporting any type of true culinary arts curriculum. Realizing there are 6 similar programs in my county and none of us teach culinary arts classes the same way, there needs to be a change. This is not an efficient way to operate a field of study in any discipline. Imagine our math and English and language arts programs operating in this fashion. After reflecting on the interview with key stakeholders in career and technology education, the outcome leads me in a direction to create a hospitality charter school where the focus could be based on student interest and involvement. Our district has a new superintendent, and her mantra is to get students ready for life after school. Whether that's a post-secondary education or the job market, these kids need to graduate high school with the ability to be a productive addition to our society. In this assignment, it outlined that we should understand specific knowledge of state and national standards. This assignment is the foundation where we begin to understand those state and national standards in Standard 1.3. I used CT802 as my next representation of Standard 1.3 as well. Really, the entire class should be used as an artifact. CT802 was extremely valuable in setting my Hospitality High plan into action. My main focus of this artifact was creating the curriculum plan for the next generation science standards for Jayhawkville United School District. The focus here is on curriculum planning at the school district level. For this artifact, we created and collaborated with a group to combine our ideas into a coherent group presentation representing our consensus of ideas about the optimal process and framework for science curriculum planning for Jayhawkville United School District. Here we were able to display our skills and understanding of curriculum, collaboration with peers, and producing a cognitive, actionable plan. My group members and I had to arrange meeting times over multiple time zones and different professional schedules, all of which were a challenge, but taught us a valuable part of being able to collaborate outside of our comfort zones. Our discussion and collaboration with our group was also a key development point of our education. As well as developing this presentation provides us the opportunity to clarify and strengthen our understanding of curriculum planning. This module was eye-opening. Yes, I teach culinary arts, but I was assigned with my classmates to create a new science curriculum plan for Jayhawkville United School District. This was amazing to learn about other disciplines and then see how I can apply that information to my discipline. We were curriculum specialists. I learned outside the box about 5 E's, 4 C's, curriculum maps, maps of integration, and how should we address the group, what effect this had on all the parties involved, from the community to the students to the teachers to the parents to the administrators. Improving the field of study, how does the entire process align from top to bottom? We can't teach by putting the cart before the horse. Next, we built a recommendation for an evidence-based, standards-based approach to curriculum planning in Jayhawkville United School District. This was not a fly-by-night idea. This plan will be converted to be used as I continue to develop the Hospitality High model. This is another example of being able to put our educations into action through this course and throughout our entire program of learning at the University of Kansas. I believe that this project does not link to supporting the ability to apply. I believe this project does link to supporting, not only links to supporting the ability to apply our knowledge to state and national standards, but it also shows an accumulation of met standards according to the Council for the Accreditation of Educator Preparation. This project shows our ability to apply knowledge and skills to our discipline standard 1.1 in order to fully understand the national next generation science standards. We had to be able to do research that supported our curriculum plan, which relates to standard 1.2, with a little investigation. Standards 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, and 1.7 can all be related to this one project. What an amazing instrumental project we created. The synopsis of our next artifact came from CT801, Planning for School Improvement. The synopsis of the capstone project for CT801, Planning for School Improvement, was to construct a school improvement plan for our educational setting. The goal was to develop a plan that you can use in our educational setting to help our students improve their achievement levels. This was a two-part capstone project. Part one was to find data for your educational setting. Then we used triangulation of that data to support our findings. This involved a summary of the results from 3 different data sources. Our goal was to look for instructional and learning gaps and be sure to address the appropriate content standards. Part 2, develop a school improvement plan for your educational setting. The school improvement plan was to have one SMART goal for the classroom or department. The goal should have at least 3 benchmarks. The improvement strategies, timeline, person responsible, and evaluation plan were also included. And then a rationale for the school improvement plan should describe the finalized analysis of the instructional and learning gaps identified in Part 1. When I started this project, I thought I didn't have any data to use. I was wrong and looked at what I'd been doing for the last 4 years and found out many things. This is a very important piece to the puzzle. We have to be able to interpret and use information given to us, then relate that information to state and national standards to see if we are fulfilling our goals that need to be met or exceeded. I was truly baffled by this assignment, trying to gain data. Then I realized I could compare attendance, tests, and final exam grades over the years I have been teaching. I'm looking forward to adding this year's numbers to the mix to understand how things are improving through teaching techniques gained by working on my master's degree. My biggest takeaways include the triangulation of data to help develop the SMART goals, but also to begin research early so it can be consistent and useful over time. I see that type of information becoming a major part of my future teaching. These numbers can show where I may not be putting enough energy, as well as data can shed light on the student buy-in during certain units of instruction over those that they feel are not as interesting. Then I can look at how can I make these not so interesting units become interesting to inspire higher levels of understanding and enjoyment. Again, this is an example of a class that fits multiple standards and not just 1.3. My next step in my professional life is to create a model for Hospitality High, including curriculum, state alignment, and advisory board. Gain support from local school district, hotel associations, restaurant associations, our Chamber of Commerce, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau, as well as the State Education Department and the South Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association. Hopefully, we'll also gain buy-in from national level education foundations and business organizations. And my final goal would be, hopefully within 3 years, we'll be enrolling our first students into Hospitality High. Now that I have the know-how I can create and organize a curriculum plan from the ground up. Relate a curriculum plan to a model, state, and national standards. Understand better ways to teach courses that will be interesting to the students. Differentiate instruction. Design learning environments. Investigate and research different aspects of the educational community. And I feel more like a real teacher having received this education from the University of Kansas. Finally, I'd like to thank all of my group members that I got to work with. A thank you to the graduate assistants that helped with classes, and finally, thank you to all my professors. I have learned so much because of all of you. Cheers.